wanted to check if there is any fragmentations. If the benefit is huge, you can ideally do the alter table name move for if the table is fragmented, or alter index name rebuild if the index is or fragmented, and you will be able to see really good benefit after the index rebuild. Many cases, application teams are not doing the maintenance jobs, so we'll be end up in doing the routine jobs like index rebuild, table move, gather stats, those stuffs. So this is how you have to search for it, and we'll get to know the actual table name. So you have to need to select and press OK. Then the segment address will be submitted. So this will run sometimes. We'll come back to this later. See the task has been submitted here. That will give the details. It's running here. So we'll see the once it's completed. We'll let you know. This will let us know the actual benefit of the whether the underlying segment is really fragmented or not. So this is what I was discussing. This specific to rack related weight events. If you have n number of rows, n number of nodes, you have to make sure that all the nodes are actually used, the loads are properly balanced. We had recently had one issues with respect to rack environment where the application team was kept updating and inserting the seal-up columns. So there are many contentions with respect to the particular SQL, in fact to particular table, because that particular table had some three seal-up columns. So the weight events are really high. So what we had to do, we tried tuning the SQL by restructuring, by caching those tables. Nothing was helping. Finally, it had only two rack nodes. We had to stop all the services on one node. Now the entire application acts as non-rack. Though it's a rack, the application behavior right now is specific to single standalone, and we advise them to fix the issues, and they are working to move the particular table out of the database, put into some third-party vendor. So once that is done, we'll enable the rack advantage back. So we have to look for the actual rack related weight events, take the decision accordingly. You may see if you have two nodes, you may not see some issues in one node, but you should be able to see the issues in some other nodes. So if you have three or four nodes, you have to go to each node and ensure there is no server is heavily loaded and loads are properly balanced between all these servers. You can use OEM DB control to monitor the rack databases and take advantage of different rack services. And you can there are some applications who does the direct load, full load on the database using insert into append, and that will load some 300 GB of data, and with the parallelism. So it's not recommended to go for parallelism for across all the available nodes, and we had to give them the dedicated services, not to use the common services, dedicated services for the application team to connect to specific node at a specific time, so that there won't be any performance issue that can be seen for the data load. So we can take advantage of rack services. We'll be seeing in detail how or what can be done, and use $GB views instead of $V for the rack related weight events. Make sure the loads are actually balanced, and make sure the queries are really compatible to rack. And rack is not meant to fix performance issues. It's meant for the high availability. That's what I was discussing into. And few more slides, I think. Yeah, two more slides. Just bear with me. I was a bit slow in the middle. And we can SQL hints. Having said, we can use it as a workaround, and it's very effective to tune without the code change. This was I was discussing into. This is much detail into. Very common hints are indexes, full, parallel hints, etc. Where you can, if you have an option to hint it, please hint it with the code. If you don't have an options, you can still hint with this useful hints without doing the actual code change, by using the manual SQL profile. And there are result cache hints, materials views, because materials views is nothing but taking the data from multiple tables, and you aware of result cache, which is nothing but the materials views that stores the data into the memory. So every time the queries are hit, if there is no change in the underlying table, the result cache will be ideally faster than the materials views, particularly if the materials view is really high on I/O. And then Oracle joins adjustment, which I was discussing with you guys, and nested loop, as join, and other stuffs. And make sure the SQL PLSQL codes will be written professionally. And having said, offload read only queries to standby, and the smart scan. This is specific to Exadata, not to the normal databases. The smart scan is specific to Exadata, and still offloading also specific to Exadata only. So make sure you are tuned all the codes, applications, the SQLs, the servers are all well tuned before you go for higher end servers. We have only one environment running on Exadata that really needs it, because the database is nearly 70 to 80 terabyte, and there are n number of reports, n number of reports on top of the key tables. There are 4 or 5 tables which are more than 20 terabyte, and that really needs Exadata. So because the queries are not the fixed queries, all dynamic, which were generating from the BI tools, MS MicroStrategy tools. So the queries are not dynamic. So queries are not static to fix the hints. So we have to go for Exadata machines. I will share you some slide. How is the benefit of it? And these are the optimizer parameters which can be looked into. We'll be seeing in each of the things will be in detail. Optimizer mode, like first rows, default is all rows, and first rows will help some cases. And this is what I was discussing. When you want to plan for Oracle upgrade, use this parameter. Capture SQL plan baseline to capture all the SQLs when it runs in 11G, and then after moving to 12C, use SQL plan baseline. So this will make sure there is no plan change after 12C migrations, and slowly you can, once the environment is used to 12C, you can drop those baselines. And optimizer fixes enable is kind of workaround. If you still have issues after going to 12C, you can use this parameter to behave as G. After going to 12C, you can still use this parameter to point to 12C to 11G features. All you need to do is optimizer feature enable 11.204. For example, if 11G is version 11.204, you still set the version to 11.204 on 12C, so that the SQLs will behave as it was in 11G. So we can take advantage as a workaround. And dynamic sampling and really benefit in case of any stale strategies available. We'll be going in detail in the next course. And the cardinality at the table stats. This is more important. Cardinality is nothing but number of rows. With the help of dynamic sampling, we have to make sure the execution plan what we see is more accurate. It's close to the actual number of rows, not to the guessing. So if the number of rows is 5,000, the optimizer should not say the number of rows I am seeing is only 10. You should be able to meet up to at least 4,000, 4,500 in order for the optimizer to behave it correctly. And there are some hidden parameters to our kind of workaround to set it out. We can still use it. We'll see how to use it. And in memory for aggregate, in memory is not meant for to fix all the issues. It will be really useful if the queries are using the aggregate functions like sum, with all the calculative values. Really benefit of it. And if you really wanted to set these parameters for specific SQL, you can take advantage of login trigger. Get into that schema, create a login trigger, which the optimizer which you want to change it, and that will be really useful to with specific to sessions, that will be applicable to the all the sessions with respect to the optimizers behavior. So assume after going into 12C you had issues, you can create a login trigger with optimizer features enable equal to 11G, so that the new sessions will use the 11G features, not 12G features, as a workaround till you find what is the exact issues. This is kind of workaround till we find what is the exact issues, not as a permanent solutions. So these are the other looking to actual core performance behavior. Familiar with the upgrade and maintenance plan. Learn what is Oracle ESM for IO and data guard to divert the read-only queries, and Oracle RAG to distribute the load. And this comes to Oracle Resource Manager to limit the resource usage. If you have some users may just log in and just run some queries, you can still use Resource Manager to put a cap on the IO limit or CPU limit to not to exit. If the session exceeds certain limits, you can always tell the optimizer to terminate the sessions. And there are Oracle, if you really wanted to learn more about Oracle real world performance team, performance, there are a dedicated team who really works and uploads the audio or video into the their site. All you need to do is go to Google and search with this word Oracle Real World Performance Team, and you will be able to see the interesting topics specific to SQLs, latches, like logs, those things. Because when it comes to performance, the options are not limited. There are various options available in the market within Oracle. We need to learn and implement and test it, then with the right approach to fix the issues. Uh, that would be really more interesting, and will be really add the value to our career.